Hello and welcome to a special edition of Government at Work. We will be rounding up a summary of the achievements of the Government of Montserrat over the course of 2023. I am your presenter, Fiona Alexander-Smith. Thank you for joining us. In the headlines, progress made on key CIPREG projects to include the hospital and port. Montserrat's Premier among OT leaders who have agreed on a joint declaration charting the way forward for the UK's relations with OTs. And energy efficiency, a significant focus of government during 2023. These and other stories after this message. First up, in January 2023, the Premier, Honourable Joseph E. Farrell, delivered his New Year's Day message to the people of Montserrat. He addressed global and regional issues, acknowledging the impact of the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia, which affected the global food and fuel supplies, and increased the cost to consumers over the course of 2022. He expressed hope that local farmers would increase domestic food production and that the government would expand its renewable energy resources to reduce dependence on fossil fuel. The Premier highlighted some of his administration's key focus areas for 2023, some of which have already commenced.
As we build on the successes of 2022, we can look forward with some degree of optimism in 2023. In particular, I emphasize the Newport project. The contract was signed in May of 2022, and the company has begun mobilizing, with work getting underway in the first quarter of this year. Significant work has also been done in preparation for the new hospital. And while we wait for the detailed design for the new hospital to be completed, work is expected to commence on retrofitting Margetson Memorial Home, which will be used to provide temporary accommodation for the main office, the pharmacy, kitchen, the lab, and the laundry. Once these are relocated, demolition of the existing buildings will follow. We are also expecting work to commence this year on the restoration of the old Salem Primary School, on the Volcano Interpretation Center, and construction of a basketball court in Davy Hill. These projects will provide significant employment, thereby generating economic activities mainly in the private sector, as we have witnessed already in the run-up to the port project. In my Christmas message, I indicated that your government presented an ambitious package to the FCDO team, which included a request for additional budgetary support. And while we have no indication as to what the 2023-24 budgetary support would be like, my government has committed to 2 additional spending priority areas. 1, improve connectivity to the island. And 2, public servants' salary increase.
The Government of Montserrat made significant progress on a number of its major projects over the course of 2023. The Montserrat Port Development Project, a major infrastructure initiative which aims to improve the island's access, trade and tourism, is among key projects currently being implemented. The project involves the design and construction of a new port and associated facilities at Port Little Bay. The key stakeholders of the project are the Government of Montserrat, the Caribbean Development Bank CDB, the UK Construction Investment Fund, and the European Union. The main contractor is Meridian Construction Company Limited, and the consulting engineer is Stantec. The project is expected to be completed by 2025. We will look back at some of the highlights and achievements of this project in 2023 in this report by Paulisa Reiner.
In 2023, the project made significant progress in several aspects. In April, the project began to construct the causeway, which involved placing a filter layer of stones, a general fill material of excavated soil, a subbase layer, and a final concrete surface. The causeway was completed in October 2023, and it provides access to the new pier from the existing port facility. The project involved dredging the harbour to make it deeper for bigger vessels to enter. The dredging was done with respect to the marine environment, as the project relocated a number of corals from the dredge footprint to other locations such as Rendezvous Bay, Silver Hills, and Cars Bay. The project also installed a silt screen to capture the silt and minimize the environmental impacts. The dredging was carried out by the Trailing Suction Hopper Dredger, TSHD-LB, which arrived in Montserrat on July 20th and completed its operations on August 11th, 2023. The project built 14 keystones, which are large concrete blocks that will form the foundation of the pier. The keystones were built at the Piper's Pond laydown area, where the project also set up a batch plant, a mechanic shed, a water tank, and a recycling plant. The keystones were transported by a barge to the pier site, where they were placed and secured. The project engaged with various stakeholders such as the Tourism Division, Montserrat Arts Council, and the Access Division to prepare them for the benefits and opportunities for the new port. The project also invited them to visit the site and have first-hand knowledge of the construction activities and progress. Furthermore, the project engaged with members of the community through monthly town halls, focus group sessions with Little Bay swimmers, and the fisher folk. They hosted a Women and Youth in Construction Day event with a focus on excavator operations. In November, 15 boat trailers arrived on Montserrat and were distributed to fisher folks who do not have them. The distribution took place on November 17th. The trailers are to be used to retrieve and launch fishing vessels during the construction period for the port and beyond. Speaking at the handover ceremony, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Beverly Menz, spoke about the conceptualization of the project and its importance.
This project would have been conducted through stakeholder engagements in 2022 with the fisher folk, and it's through those activities that these fishers were identified. In as much as the trailers were seen as necessary to aid the retrieving and launching of their vessels during the construction period of the port, we know that in fact these trailers would continue to assist the fishers with their daily activities long after the project is finished. This initiative and today's event demonstrates that significant attention was given to the impact of the port development project that would have had that great impact on the fishing industry and the fishers themselves.
Permanent Secretary Beverly Menz. project manager Ralston Patterson said the trailers were procured to mitigate the impact of the implementation of the project on the fisherfolk and support adherence to the social safeguard requirements and the implementation of the project as outlined in its resettlement action plan.
Reporting on the Port Development Project for Government at Work, a year in review, I am Paulisa Reiner.
Thank you, Paulisa. In April 2023, the Government of Montserrat and the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO, agreed on a financial aid settlement of £30.3 million sterling for the 2023 to 2024 financial year. This represented a 25% increase from the previous year. The settlement included core budget support for ongoing operational costs, technical assistance and capacity building, and funding to maintain access to the island. Premier and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Joseph E. Farrell, presented the Government of Montserrat's budget for 2023 to 2024 under the theme, Building a Stronger Montserrat Together, a Vision and a Roadmap for Prosperity. The budget was delivered on Monday, April 17, 2023. The settlement is separate from the funding for capital programs on Montserrat, such as the £40 million Capital Investment Programme for Resilient Economic Growth, CIPREG, the £28.3 million Port Development Project, and the £3 million Essential Equipment Programme, which have continued through the year. The UK government's Conflict Stability and Security Fund also continued to support Montserrat through a variety of programs, including justice, environmental sustainability and climate change, border security, and governance. Stay with us for more government stories after this message.
Hello, I am Dr. Faquida Watson-Jones, a medical doctor attached to the Casualty Department of Glendon Hospital in Montserrat and the Sexual Reproductive Health and Rights Focal Point and HIV Clinical Care Coordinator. There are more than 30 types of sexually transmitted infections. HIV is only one of them, and it continues to be a major public health issue. Getting tested for HIV is a first step in taking care of your sexual health, and it needs to be maintained so as to prevent the transmission of HIV. If you are tested negative for HIV, continue to practice safer sex by using a condom correctly and every time before engaging in sex, while reducing your risky sexual behaviors. If you're tested positive for HIV, visit your doctor as soon as possible so that you can start your antiretroviral therapy as prescribed. Continue to practice safer sex while reducing your risky sexual behavior. Testing is available at Glendon Hospital Medical Laboratory from Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. free of cost for HIV, hepatitis B, and syphilis. Come and get tested today. Protect yourself, protect your partner. Get tested and know your HIV status.
This message was brought to you by the Ministry of Health in observance of World AIDS Day.
Welcome back to Government at Work Year in Review. We continue now by looking at one of the major government projects, the new National Hospital. The final design for the hospital project was received in 2023. Article 25, the UK-based international non-governmental architecture organisation, successfully completed the detailed design of the new National Hospital, together with the Government of Montserrat and the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO. The final design of the hospital project was showcased at public information sessions in December 2023, which were aimed at encouraging the local community to experience a detailed visual understanding of the hospital, whilst also obtaining clarity on the clinical and non-clinical details of the facility. Attendees had the opportunity to see the plans and ask questions about the project. During the December 11th session, Branko Paredo from Article 25 gave a presentation on the design and outlined the new hospital specifications.
The hospital is about 57,000 square feet of healthcare provided in 3 floors. We have 25 beds in a mix of wards and individual rooms. There's a dedicated acute mental health room, 2 operating theaters, including endoscopy, full diagnostic suite, CT scanner, X-ray, mammogram, ultrasound. It's a fully accessible building. It has 2 lifts. It's hurricane and earthquake resilient. It's a fully air-conditioned building with mechanical ventilation, which will ensure that the relative humidity inside is reduced, so this will create a more pleasant environment and also will make sure that the hospital lasts longer. And lastly, there are 70 car parking spaces, including 5 parking spaces for wheelchair users.
Parado went into detail about the current layout of the hospital and the planned changes. She also explained the rationale behind the design.
The hospital is going to be built exactly in the same site as the current hospital. The mortuary, Margetson, and then administration building, pharmacy stores, kitchen, and the physiotherapy building towards the back of the site. So, over the next few months, there's going to be quite a lot of changes at the hospital site. Margetson works have started. All these buildings back here, the services that are there are going to be moved to Margetson. And what that will ensure is that we can clear the space to build a new hospital. And this is what it will look at the end. So the wards building remains, as well as the operating theatre building and the mortuary. The Margetson house remains, so all these buildings at the front of the site will stay there. The cherry tree will remain just there. That was always our starting point. And the hospital is, the new hospital building is located roughly as if you were at the back of the pharmacy looking to the administration building. That's where that is.
Article 25 ensured that all the services were kept under one roof to prevent staff and patients from having to walk outdoors, protecting them from the weather. The new hospital is an inclusive space and accessible for everyone and adaptable for future provision. The architects also reported that there has been an uplift of the specifications across the project for better quality finishes and better equipment. This includes a new water tank, a new oxygen generator plant, and 2 new electrical generators that are going to be built at the DMCA site. These will also ensure that the CT scanner runs properly. Meanwhile, in December, progress was made in preparation for the CT scanner. Local contractor Steel Express Services completed the works required for the platform where the island's new CT scanner will be placed. The procurement of the new 64-slice CT scanner and the enabling construction works are funded through the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office via the Improving Essential Equipment Program and CIPREG program respectively. The hospital project follows the UK NHS guidelines as well as the Pan American Health Organization PAHO guidance. In related news, the refurbishment of the former Margetson Memorial Home building situated on the Glendon Hospital compound began on December 11th last year. This marks a significant progress point in the development of the new hospital project. The Ministry of Health and Social Services announced that the contract for the refurbishment was awarded to a local construction company, Harewood Construction Limited. The works are scheduled to be completed in the second quarter of 2024. The completed refurbishment of the Margetson Memorial Building is the precursor to the demolition of all the buildings at the rear of the Glendon Hospital site. The refurbished building will provide temporary accommodation for the laboratory and the pharmacy on the upper level, with a level walkway from the hospital driveway for patients to have easy access. The construction works is not expected to affect the public, as they will occur out of the public access areas. However, persons visiting the compound should exercise caution and refrain from attempting to access the construction site. The new National Hospital project is funded by the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO, through the Capital Investment Program for Resilient Economic Growth, CIPREG, with His Majesty's Governor's Office in Montserrat. In March 2023, the Ministry of Communications, Works, Labour and Energy digitized one of its services by launching its online driver's license system. The system allows people to renew their driver's license, apply for visitor's driver's license, and apply for a learner's permit online. The system accepts all major credit and debit cards. Visitors to Montserrat can apply for their visitor's license online before they arrive and collect it at their convenience from the Driver and Vehicle License Division, DVLD, downstairs MCWLE headquarters. Driver's licenses that are renewed online can also be collected at the DVLD or mailed for an additional fee. Stay with us. We have more government news stories after this. We continue our year in review by focusing now on energy. In May 2023, the Ministry of Communication, Works, Labour and Energy launched 2 efficient energy projects designed to address the impact of the high cost of electricity on the government and residents of Montserrat. The Energy Efficient Lighting and Environmentally Friendly Lighting Disposal on Montserrat project is a free lamp exchange program valued at $456,500 Eastern Caribbean dollars. It is focused on increasing the efficiency of energy consumption within the residential sector. The free lamp exchange program is still open, and residents can register by visiting www.gov.ms and filling in the form, or they can scan this code on screen to register. The next phase of this energy efficiency initiative, which involves the distribution of 250 plug-in meter readers, was launched in December 2023 by the Energy Department. The initiative aims to empower residents to understand and reduce their energy consumption, contributing to wider regional energy efficiency endeavors. The plug-in meter reader is specifically designed to offer insights into the energy consumption of 110-volt appliances, such as TVs, washing machines, fridges, and computers. The free plug-in meter readers are available for distribution at the MCWLE Energy Department. Residents can acquire them conveniently when exchanging their old light bulbs for more energy-efficient alternatives. In addition to bulb exchange and the plug-in meter reader distribution, the project is also promoting an environmentally friendly solution to the disposal of old non-LED light bulbs with the use of the eco-friendly bulb eater. The bulb eater is designed to safely crush collected light bulbs, transforming them into finely crushed glass while separating hazardous materials such as mercury into a secure compartment. Members of the Environmental Health Department underwent a comprehensive training to master the safe operation and maintenance of the bulb eater before it was handed over to them. This project has given out over 4,000 bulbs and safely crushed over 2,000 old bulbs. Of the 1,095 targeted households, 475 have participated in the program. The second RESEMBID energy project on Montserrat is the post-COVID cost reduction through energy efficiency project. This project is valued at $1,091,800 Eastern Caribbean dollars. It is aimed at reducing the escalating energy costs of government properties in Montserrat through the implementation of energy-efficient retrofits. In June, Wardell Armstrong LLP carried out the comprehensive energy audit of 13 Government of Montserrat buildings. They ended the audit with a rigorous training program with representatives from various ministries and departments. The program offered participants a holistic understanding of the drivers of climate change and the potential impacts on Montserrat and the wider region. Associate Director, Energy and Climate Change of Wardell Armstrong LLP, Mr. Ian Gillard, shared the following statement, and I quote, "It is a fantastic opportunity for Wardell Armstrong to be invited to carry out this project, and we are delighted to work alongside the Government of Montserrat on their initiative to reduce energy consumption on the island." End quote. Both of these projects are supported by RESEMBID. RESEMBID is a 47-project program funded by the European Union and implemented by Expertise France, the Development Cooperation Agency of the Government of France, and supports sustainable human development efforts in 12 Caribbean overseas countries and territories: Aruba, Anguilla, Bonaire, British Virgin Islands, the Cayman Islands, Curacao, Montserrat, Saba, Saint Eustatia, Saint Barthélemy, St. Martin, and Turks and Caicos. Work started in November 2023 to transform the old Salem Primary School into a community center. The commencement of work followed the November 7, 2023 signing of a $1.2 million EC contract by the Basic Needs Trust Fund, BNTF, under the portfolio of the Office of the Premier and Kitchen Dock LLC. BNTF project manager Jennifer Mead said the project will result in a boost in economic activity and would embody the community spirit of Salem and its environs. The Salem Community Resource Center rehabilitation is the largest of 3 projects under the Caribbean Development Bank CDB BNTF 10 project cycle. In October, the Government of Montserrat signed a ferry service contract with Navioc SADCV to operate the V2V Empress vessel to provide passenger ferry services between Montserrat and Antigua and Montserrat and Nevis. The service began in early November 2023 and will continue until March 31st, 2024. The Access Assistant Secretary, Ian Gerald, and the GIU team accompanied the ferry's crew on October 31st to Nevis for an initial test run. Police Arena has more details in this report.
I am top deck on the V2V Empress passenger ferry service. We just pulled out of Port Little Bay and we are making our way to Nevis. This will be a 2-hour journey. It's estimated to be 2 hours long. Right now the waves are calm, the ride is smooth, and everything is going great so far. In the background you could probably see some crew working. They're up and down and they're doing their checks. That is the purpose of today's trip, to do some checks to make sure that everything will run smoothly when the passengers come on board. So we will be speaking to some crew members maybe, or the captain, and we'll have that later on.
Quite excited for the start of the services because Nevis, here we are docked today, is actually a new route into the access plan that we have for Montserrat. So I'm really excited to know what the feedback will be like from the Nevisians and basically what the demand will be like.
Mr. Ramirez, Tell me, why is it important to have these safety checks before you start?
This is really important to us, because we are a crew that are taking care of each passenger here. According to SOLA, the safety of life at sea, we have to do every day, daily, before each trip, we have to do this checklist. We are taking care of the ship, the environment, and the people that is on board here, because we have some paper that we are completing daily. How many passengers have, how many crew are, how many time are you? We are going to take from here to Antigua, each country, But it's really important, because we need to know about everything that is happening in that moment. That is the first thing that we are checking always. If there are some mistakes, complaint, daily. It doesn't matter the water. It doesn't matter if it's raining. It doesn't matter if the governor is coming to here. Yes. We have to do our checklist. It's really important because the safety is first.
The service has been operating for 5 days per week during the off-peak period. It operated on a 6-day schedule during the peak period in December 2023 and will do the same in March 2024. The schedule also includes a number of day tour operations to Antigua and Nevis. Individuals wishing to travel on the service are encouraged to book online via the online ferry booking system on www.ferry.mniaccess.com. The ferry service has been providing a reliable and affordable option for travelers, especially during the peak seasons. The Government of Montserrat continues to look at ways to improve access and also invested in upgrading the airport facilities and expanding the flight routes to other destinations. And while we are speaking of destinations to visit, add Montserrat to your adventure list for 2024. And now we are back. In November, Premier Honourable Joseph E. Farrell led a delegation to the UK for the Joint Ministerial Council, JMC, and also had bilateral discussions while there. The focus was on Montserrat's development opportunities and the joint declaration forging a modernised path forward between the UK and the overseas territories. The delegation was comprised of the Premier Honourable Joseph E. Farrell, Deputy Premier Dr. the Honourable Samuel Joseph, Financial Secretary Honourable Lindona Lambert Sweeney, Deputy Financial Secretary Kenya Lee, and Head of the Montserrat UK Office Janice Panton. And Esther Fergus presents a summary of the JMC and UK engagements.
At this year's JMC, one of the core agenda items for discussion was the joint declaration. The UK government and elected leaders of the British Overseas Territories have agreed a new joint declaration. The declaration defines a new, more collaborative and modern partnership between the UK and the OTs, one that is based around our shared democratic values and respect for human rights. As part of the declaration, the UK and OTs have committed to the following: improving transparency and deepening bilateral partnerships, consulting OTs on UK primary legislation that impacts them, and supporting OTs to take on more responsibilities where they wish to do so. UK Minister for the Overseas Territories, David Rutley, said, "The overseas territories are an important part of the British family, and our shared values, such as support for democracy and the rule of law, underpin this close relationship. Our new joint declaration sets out more clearly than ever how the UK and overseas territories will work closer together on the opportunities and challenges of the modern world. The joint declaration was agreed during the UK and British Overseas Territories annual joint Ministerial Council meetings in London on November 14th to 15th, 2023, and has now been formally approved within the OTs. Premier Honourable Joseph E. Farrell provided further highlights from the JMC.
We discussed a major item, which is the relationship between the overseas territories and the United Kingdom. And listeners would recall that there are a number of investigations, inquiries going on in terms of, as relation to the relationship between the United Kingdom and its overseas territories. And so in May, the United Kingdom government offered us a pathway to what we call a revised 2012 white paper. Because there was a 2012 white paper which outlined the relationship between the UK and the overseas territories. But time has evolved, and as of such, there is need for a review of that paper.
While in the UK, Premier Farrell and his delegation held several bilateral discussions with UK government ministries and other agencies. The discussions focused on Montserrat's needs for economic and social development, exploring proactive steps which can be taken to support Montserrat's capacity gaps in the public service, water and waste management, environment and biodiversity, and geothermal energy.
Whether we like it or not, we have a capacity problem here. And we need to have exposure for our public servants both ways. And so we spoke at length about how we can work together as two countries. If you're going to talk about rebuilding Montserrat, we have to first of all do that. And so that was one of our primary discussions.
Additionally, the Premier and Deputy Premier visited the Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, DEFRA, engaging with DEFRA's Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State, Robbie Moore. The discussions covered a wide range of areas exploring possible assistance and collaboration between DEFRA and the Government of Montserrat.
We had 2 meetings with DEFRA while we were in the UK. They have begun to do some prep work for us on a plan to restore the integrity of sewage, water, and energy in Montserrat. We met with them, the technicians first, and we met with the minister. And there's something positive because they have some designs for us. Hopefully we will get some assistance in terms of technical support to get it going. But most of us need to know that the sewage is under pressure, the water is under pressure, and of course our electricity.
Deputy Premier Dr. the Honourable Samuel Joseph also took the opportunity to hold a bilateral meeting with the Director General of the FCDO, Mr. Vijay Rangarajan. The focus was on discussing the progress of the geothermal development project and exploring potential further assistance from the UK government to help Montserrat achieve its renewable energy goals. The Montserrat delegation concluded the UK visit by meeting with the Diaspora in London and Preston to explore areas for their continued support of Montserrat's development. For Government at Work News, I am Anesta Fergus.
Thank you very much, Anesta. In other news, the Government of Montserrat made significant progress on the hot mix asphalt plant project in 2023. The Public Works Department PWD team began the assembly at the plant site located below the PWD workshop in March 2023. Representatives from the plant's supplier, Smart Asphalt Solutions, assisted them to complete these activities and to train staff on the plant's operation ahead of its official commissioning. The hot mix asphalt plant was purchased as part of the A1 road project under the Capital Investment Programme for Resilient Economic Growth, CIPREG, funded by the UK government. The Public Works Department and Smart Asphalt Solutions conducted various activities to test and prove the capability of the hot mix plant in June 2023.
This significant milestone for full installation and commissioning of our new asphalt plant. Government of Montserrat with FCDO have taken significant and confident steps towards attaining this new asset for improving our road infrastructure, its quality, and to further expand its network. Public Works Department worked diligently to ensure that the site was adequately prepared to accommodate this new plant and further to provide the necessary on-ground support to the contractor, Smart Asphalt Solution, for the successful installation of the plant.
A key component of the commissioning process was the mix design, a process of determining the appropriate amount of aggregate and asphalt binder to achieve the optimum combination for hot mix asphalt production and placement. The mix design process involved transporting the asphalt, placing and compacting it at a designated site using relevant equipment and manpower. The activities were carried out with consideration for the safety of the driving or traveling public by working in low-traffic areas and prioritizing pothole repair, thereby minimizing potential hazards. Additional commissioning activities included fine-tuning the plant settings, calibrating the equipment, conducting quality control tests, and training the staff on the plant's operation. The hot mix asphalt plant was officially commissioned on Tuesday, September 19, 2023 at the Public Works Department compound in Braids. The contractor's Smart Asphalt Solutions were present on the island to complete the commissioning in accordance with the contract terms. Work started in 2023 on the first set of social housing improvement projects funded by the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office's SIPREG program. The $1.3 million portfolio of work will deliver renovation and corrective maintenance for a range of properties within the Government of Montserrat's social housing stock, improving the quality of life for many residents. Minister of Housing, Honorable Cranston Buffong, joined representatives of the Land Development Authority, LDA, and the Program Management Office, PMO, on a site tour in early December for ongoing works at various units in Lookout. Upon viewing the works, Minister Buffong stated, and I quote, "I am delighted to see this new phase of investment in Montserrat's social housing portfolio come to fruition. Not only does it secure a decent quality of life for some of our most vulnerable residents, but it also stimulates our private sector and construction economy. Alongside these improvements to the existing housing stock, our ministry is also working with the PMO and our funding partners to secure additional funding for new housing development initiatives." End quote. The head of PMO, Martin Pallet, met with various contractors and the project management team, congratulating them on the effectiveness of planning, procurement, and implementation thus far. And our final story focuses on inviting persons overseas to journey home. The Montserrat Diaspora Investment Engagement has been launched and is being organized to take place from March 4th to 8th, 2024. The Montserrat Tourism Division, under the portfolio of the Office of the Premier, is leading on the activity. This significant event precedes the iconic St. Patrick's Festival carded for 9th to 18th March 2024, creating 2 dynamic weeks of collaboration and celebration. The Diaspora Investment Engagement, under the theme The Journey Home, is a cornerstone of the Government of Montserrat's comprehensive diaspora strategy, exemplifying its commitment to strengthening ties with the Montserratian global community. The diaspora strategy focuses on enhancing communication, encouraging investment, and recognizing the invaluable contributions of Montserratians and friends of Montserrat residing abroad. The Montserrat Diaspora Investment Engagement promises to be an unparalleled occasion for connection, collaboration, and celebration, setting the stage for the vibrant St. Patrick's Day Festival that follows. Persons traveling to Montserrat in March 2024 are invited to join in this transformative experience as we unite to shape the future where Montserrat thrives through a shared vision and collective action. Thank you for tuning in to Government at Work Year in Review. We hope you enjoyed our flashback of government highlights and achievements for 2023. Government at Work monthly news package from the GIU resumes in February 2024, and we will be looking for a presenter, so listen out for details on that. I am Fiona Alexander Smith on behalf of the GIU Government at Work production team. Thank you for watching.